5, 4, 3.
Welcome, everyone, and pull up a seat at the table. It is Lunchtime in Rome. Tonight's episode 280 is titled Pet Peeves. There are things that bother all of us, but some things really get under our skin. What are they and why? Can we do anything about it? We're talking about that at the table this evening, so pull up a seat and join us. First-time listeners can subscribe on your favorite podcast app or watch us live or later on YouTube at Lunchtime in Rome. Visit us at lunchtimeinrome.com. While there, you can take our relational needs questionnaire. Make sure to follow us on all social media, and it'd be great if you gave us a 5-star review. Jay, what specifically is this podcast about?
At the table, we strive to love one another and help you to do the same. Some weeks, we will have someone join us so that you can get to know them and learn a little bit about yourself in the process. Other weeks, like this one, we dive into a topic. Romans 12:15 says, to rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn. That is exactly what we do. So while it may not be 12:15 p.m. in Rome, we're treating it like it is lunchtime in Rome. No crackle.
Yeah.
I think we got rid of it.
Crackle pop.
Well, and Well, and so we've been recording Jay's book. We've 3 chapters recorded so far.
And all of the intro stuff, which was...
Yeah, and we've noticed that the recording sounds fine, but live in our ears, like sometimes there's like, it's like, I don't know. So, you know.
I have a lisp when it's live. Stand. Surviving emotionally.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wow. So update for the house. We're excited. Hunter.
Just about done.
Hunter has put floors in our bedroom and Maggie's bedroom, so those rooms are done.
Getting there.
Which is great because we were sleeping on our mattress directly on the living room floor.
Saw that.
For like a week.
I saw the bed. I didn't see
it's
you. I
like
was sleeping.
Camping
Yeah.
in your house.
So excited that we got to sleep in our room last night, and
Wait, your room is done?
yeah, I mean, he still has to do the trim, but that's going to be last. He's going to do all the trim last. So, but we don't have to like move everything out of the room for that.
Are you getting floors in your room or just paint?
They don't
Or
need
both?
Floors.
Both. He said. Didn't
Did you
I
say
did
both?
say I did
Yeah,
say
you said it.
I zoned out
yes,
there for a second.
Yeah, we got floors.
The floors are done. The painting's already done.
Got it.
Yeah. So
What about the trim?
Well, they got to bring everything back out before they do the trim.
Good. Okay.
Do you have to move anything
Speak up,
out?
Eric.
oh my
Come on,
gosh.
just say what you got to say.
Anyway, so excited about that. Glad it's moving along. And Hunter's been so great. I know I said that, but he's the best. He's just the best.
Isn't it nice that he's also like enjoyable? Like if he was
Yes.
gross and disgusting,
He doesn't
or-
complain.
Smoking in your house?
Right.
Yeah, like he doesn't complain.
He's
but,
just
you
like
know,
a cool cucumber.
You never
hangs
like,
out.
You never hear him like yelling about being like frustrated with something like that. Because I mean, construction can be really frustrating.
Sure.
There's lots of things that come up. And
Does he have anybody coming in with him?
no,
Okay.
But he does. I don't think he really needs somebody for this job. I'm sure he would welcome it, but he's had some trouble finding people. But I think for this
Hard
job,
to hire help.
That's Trump.
I think it's a job that he can do on his own, which is fine. But the other thing that we did, so Maggie is starting softball, and she had her first
Great weather for it.
Well, they've had open gym practice, and man, she is into it.
Nice.
Holy cow! Even her coach was making comments of like how impressed he is with her, and she was asking questions, like good questions. Yeah, I have no idea what that noise is.
Don't worry, it's gone now. I'm sure it's fine.
But really excited about that. So excited to see that continue to go. Yeah, what is that? Is
It's
it
the
a phone?
rattlesnake.
Remember phones used to cause that noise with speakers and stuff? Yeah. That reminds me of what that is.
Ring.
Yeah. Or when you're receiving a text or something. But other than that, yeah, we're excited. We're excited for her to play softball, and she's into it, which is awesome. And we're
There's some
excited
kind of
to.
beautiful symmetry that Abby and Maggie are starting softball the same year.
Yeah, I know. That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there'll be some softball in the yard throughout the summer. So
Well, and it's interesting as to dovetail off that. Abby had a game today, her first game in like 2 weeks, because it has been so damp or cold or whatever. And she got the MVP of the game.
There you
no
go.
way, that's
And
awesome.
let me tell you why she got the MVP
boy.
of the game. This is where 7th grade softball is.
Sure. Away game?
Yes, they
Yeah,
were
exactly.
they were at Gateway, and this is not to put her. This is to build her up. She got the MVP of the game. She got a $5 gift card to.
Okay. Pay for play?
Yes, she was running. There was a pop fly out into the outfield, and she went to catch it, fell. It looked like she was diving to catch it. She didn't make the catch. So that was part one. And then when she was at bat, she had a 7 or 8 pitch at bat where she was fouling things off. She was
Okay.
getting balls.
Fighting through it.
She had a dead ball where she had to go back and rebat, and then she struck out.
She battled.
And she battled. So,
Perseverance Award.
Yep. So she
Hey,
got
I
the
like
MVP
that.
of the game.
Did she admit to you privately later that she did not dive but fell?
She didn't. I haven't seen her yet. She when Lex picked her up today, she told her, and she was ecstatic, like just ecstatic about the whole game.
Man, that's awesome.
So I'm very proud but conflicted, but I'll never say that to her. Like, I'm super proud of you, baby girl.
Bit better if you made the catch, though.
Yeah, you should have made the catch. don't fall next time.
I'm with you on that. Man, doing announcing for the baseball games, which it's sort of not counterproductive, but like I'm not around that many of the players because they're playing, and after the game they go and talk and I'm like, I'm cold, I'm out, sorry. I mean, but it's cool hanging out with the one parent who does a scorebook and this other guy who graduated 4 years before me. So anyhow, but watching the guys play, I'm like, let me go. Let me go play outfield. let me play outfield. Let me just make one diving catch. I'll just do it. Let me do it. So I'm with you.
How many years did you play?
Like 8. I was 18 years old through, so probably like 20.
Yeah.
20. Probably finished in like 2006 was maybe my last year. And I probably started in 94. So
good
no,
career.
12 years. 12 years.
Nice.
So was that your update? Or
Well,
you got to go musical.
Definitely musical for sure. Ethan was amazing. Just he has such a gift.
he was so funny.
He was so funny, and all the songs, like he was pretty flawless, I would say. And that's not I don't think a biased opinion. I think he was just generally really, really good.
Didn't know the kid could moonwalk.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
yeah, it was
fun,
pretty
too. I
good.
forgot about that.
I
This was
really
awesome.
enjoyed watching him like both really get into the role,
Yeah,
but then also like, well, this is also part of getting into the role, but he's so good at like just improving.
Yeah.
Little, like the one night he lost his shoe under the bed in that scene where his shoe comes off.
Yeah.
And he knew he needed that shoe for later. And so even though, Zach, his cohort was already, walking down the stairs, Ethan's up there in the loft, like searching under the bed, and he just played it off so well.
Yeah.
So I love it.
yeah,
Yeah, and I don't think he could have. I don't think you could have scripted the ending of his High School Musical career any better. The way that the end of the musical itself, the last act, took place, the things that were said, and then him and his buddy Zach. They've just
Yeah.
they've been friends since first grade.
That's crazy.
They did Odyssey of the Mind together in first grade, and then and they've sometimes been friendly rivals. It's they have a very long history with each other, but to finish out the way that he did was just it was magical, and just super proud of him. I also have both kids are doing very well. Lex's birthday is today. Happy birthday, Lex!
Happy birthday, Lex.
This podcast is for her.
Sure, and
I'll retitle it.
and yeah, just things are just there's a lot of doing right now, but there's a lot of very rewarding doing, and a lot of things to celebrate and look forward to and enjoy.
That's awesome.
That is
and
awesome.
it is. You do have you've had a lot of irons in the fire for a while.
Yeah, and it's really don't even have it's not even started yet, which is crazy. Like I would just right before the pod, I was just talking with you guys just where the end of this year is what it's gonna look like for me, because there's one big thing is just about to pop for sure next week, and then the other really big thing I'm waiting on looks like it's about to. There's still a little bit of a distance to go between that and it becoming official, but that's going to be almost a life-changing thing. So yeah, it'll be very interesting. And then I get busy.
Yeah.
I think it's Chris's phone.
Yes.
I don't know. I think it's been lighting up. I don't know.
It's hard to say. It's 5G, clearly. For me, I was torn on what to give an update. One, I've been talking a lot about Young Life and coming back on staff, and it's been interesting to see people's reactions. Whereas we had such troubles last summer that I left the committee, in some conflict, and now I'm back on staff. Like it was 17 years ago I left being on staff.
Yeah.
Like that's a human.
That's some time.
That's a whole
Yep.
human being growing up. And it's been great going back into it now. And like last night I went to the volleyball match, and it's cool. Obviously I'm much more spiritually mature now than I was then, which is not to say that I was spiritually immature then. But, I just wander around like the volleyball match, talk to these people, walk over here, talk to these people. And then I went up to the snack bar, and there were two women there who I didn't know. And so I said, who are you? And then I said, oh, you guys are on the whatever. And they're like, yeah, I'm so-and-so's mom and so-and-so's mom. And I'm like, oh, it's nice to meet you. What are you doing? And so I'm doing contact work with these two adults, and it got into talking about what am I doing? And I'll go wander from there, and then see a high school classmate, and then walk over here. And then I met a principal who I didn't even know. And so that's just been a lot of fun and exciting. And we're going to see where God continues to lead it. I'm trying to
Where was that? In Eric's bedroom?
Yeah. What? Oh, you're being funny.
With the floor and the
Yeah,
movie?
it's my nephew Hunter. I just did contact work, and there he was.
Wow.
But the other is on Saturday, I made potato chip chicken casserole, which is a Mitlow family dish that we like. And it's just already cooked chicken, celery, onion, mayonnaise, spices, of course, toasted almonds, and then you top it with cheese and crushed up potato chips. Eaten it my whole life. It's great, whatever. I made it for Bella and Alex and Maya and Rachel because Bella and her friends were in town. And Saturday night I had just a little bit before the musical. And at the musical, I was like, I don't feel very good. And had like what I call like my grabby stomach, which since I've had my special morning orange, ginger, garlic mix, my stomach's been perfectly fine. And I was like, well, that's weird. And then Sunday after church, I had a huge plate of it, and it wrecked me.
Oh, so definitely the food.
But nobody else, so you can't blame it on inherently the food. It wasn't bad food.
But something in it
Four
with
other
you.
people ate it. But
Yeah.
I broke down the ingredients. I eat them all.
Right.
All the time.
Potato chips?
The only, that's about all. Like even the almonds, which there weren't that many, and I've eaten the exact same dish before,
Right.
No problems. And then so Sunday night, I'm like, all right, I'm having steak. We're gonna, and my body was like, no, we're still mad, bro. Like this is bad. And then Monday, I had my normal breakfast, but I skipped the green onions. Like, oh, maybe it's onions again or something, whatever. And it was bad, but not terrible.
Like, were you going to the bathroom and
Nope,
stuff?
it's just as if there are the claw
grabbies.
toy machine
Right.
is grabbing the inside of your stomach. And then last night I was like, all right, for Tuesday night, I'm not going to have cheese, but I'm going to have ranch because maybe it's a lot of mayo in the potato chip chicken. Again, I've made it 12 times. And so the very first thing I did last night was grab a piece of
I was
cheese.
going to say you had cheese.
Right. And I'm like, wow, that's out the window. And I've been perfectly fine. So like whatever it was in my system finally worked its way out.
Yeah.
There's been, let's just say, odoriferous evidence that there was some conflict down there, but no bowel anything.
This is great.
I'm glad
Yeah.
I know about that.
So,
And
yeah,
so
it's
does
just-
the rest of the world.
It's crazy. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't say anything explicitly or implicitly. But so busy, fun, administrative nightmares on computers with the Service Center Young Life, but we're going to roll with that. Figure it out. I got one thing taken care of today.
Good.
And kids are going to come to know Christ, and it's going to be kind of awesome.
Yep.
Maybe some adults. Who knows?
Awesome.
It's unknowable.
Love the work you do.
Oh, appreciate that. And that's another thing that's always interesting. Like, people are impressed by it. And I'm like, it's just what I'm gifted at.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to hang out with high school kids, figure out a way to not just show them, but tell them about Jesus. That's what I do. Go ask me to build a shed. Can't do it.
I've got a similar update. It's about a record. I'm kidding. It's not similar at all. Did I say this on pod last week about my German record?
It's hard not to. It's hard.
I know you think about all these things, Jay, that I might have just told Eric. But okay, so my Amy's favorite movie, The Last Unicorn. I know I've told you guys this at some point.
Absolutely.
You guys are with me? Anyway, I think it was Brian. Remember
we were
Last
talking
Unicorn,
about this, yep.
1980. The folk rock band America does the soundtrack to this animated Rankin Bass quote unquote classic called The Last Unicorn. And it's a great little movie and it's a great little soundtrack. So once I got my record player, Amy's not into it the way I am, but she will once in a while be like, oh, it'd be cool to have this on vinyl. It'd be cool to, maybe this thing. And so number one on her list is The Last Unicorn, but we've been looking it up and can't find it anywhere in America.
Wait, you did tell me it's Germany?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
Slow
is funny
Boat.
because the band is America.
Yeah.
But yes, so it was Brian I was telling. Thank
Yeah.
you for acknowledging something.
Ring a bell.
I've not heard this story at all.
Okay, so on Discogs, the vinyl website that Eric and I use now, people sell records, so I looked it up on there, and the only place I could find it was Germany. And I wasn't even sure if is this a German version? Like, is it actually America singing this, or is it just, whatever. Gonna buy it no matter what. This was a month and a half ago now, or 5 weeks ago.
So this is a person in Germany that
Yes.
owns the disc, not
Correct.
a German pressing?
Correct.
Got it.
Well, it is a German. Well, I didn't know, but
Okay.
it does turn out that it was a German pressing.
Okay.
But make a long story a little bit shorter.
He said a little bit.
Just a little bit.
If you play it
The
backwards,
guy keeps-
It's in Spanish.
The guy, starting 2 weeks after I ordered, the guy kept messaging me, "Did you get it yet? It should be there. Did you get it yet? Did you get it yet?" And I'm not getting it. And there's nothing. And I start, I'm like, no. And then 2 days later, "Did you get it yet?" "No, I haven't seen it yet." And then the third time he asks, I'm like, okay, there's nothing showing up. Do you have any tracking information on it? And then he goes silent for a few days. And I'm like, okay, this isn't real. Nothing's in the mail, He finally gets back to me. Tracking information. It was stuck in customs.
Huh.
It showed up on Monday, and it's glorious.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it's a
Nice.
happy ending.
Yeah.
It's great.
But it's
I like happy endings.
It's all no. It's the real band singing. But
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Deshaun.
So that's my German record.
Is that your first German pressing?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome news. And have you given it to Amy? Does she know about it?
She does.
Ah,
Yes.
Was she happy?
Yeah. Oh yes.
Oh, I have
Yes.
another update real quick. It's no secret that Rachel keeps me around to take the garbage out and to put gas in her car and to make her lunch. And the other day, she'd had a bad day of work on her way to the gym, and she goes, and I'm just so flustered because I didn't know that I was low on gas and the gas light is already on. Please tell me I'm going to make it home from the gym. I said, honey, you're going to make it home from the gym. Odds are. Because I really don't know, but I said, I'm home even if if something happens, I'm home. I'll be there in a minute. So I hang up, and I was supposed to have a baseball game, and I didn't. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to surprise her. So I made sure I had a spare key, and I was going to go down to the gym, which is 20 minutes away in East Liberty, basically, go get gas, and then it'll kind of freak her out because she'll get in the car and be like, what? Why is there gas in my car?
That's pretty cool.
But I forgot the key. So I just walked into the gym, and the look on her face, with all due respect, we have a great relationship. I put my marriage up against just about anybody. The amount of appreciation and affection on her face when I walked in there and she realized why I was there, man, it was awesome. It was one of my biggest home runs. It was great.
I celebrate that.
that
It's
is
just,
great.
it's tough that she's such a high maintenance person. You know, Rachel's constantly.
I thought you were going to say, I can't imagine that face on her. It would have been a great no move by you. Wait, you're saying she was like happy to see you? See, I've never seen that when I see her.
Genuine enthusiasm.
No, wait. Are you being funny saying she is high maintenance or she's not high
No,
maintenance?
she's not a high
No,
maintenance
she's
person.
she's very specific maintenance.
These
Yeah.
are like literally the only 3 things that she appreciates your support.
Last Saturday morning, we're sitting on the couch, and I said something to her, and I said, honey, one more thing, because I know you don't like to talk. That was it. Like, to me or with me. And she's like, go ahead. like she didn't say, no. And it's like, no, it's a Saturday morning. She doesn't want to be talking. But anyhow,
that is a
no, it
fact,
was just a great
Jay.
moment. And I'm grateful
That's
that
funny.
she is the co-head of the household. But we are also so grateful
Yes, we are.
for the people who sit at the head of the table each week. And that is Groot from the Hooked on Jesus podcast, Laurie Ann, Bethany Jaworski, Mary Lynn, Ashley Cesarato, and Breaking 90, who we've not heard from in a minute. I'm going to check in with my man.
Oh yeah. Actually, haven't seen him post in a while either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they do that by going to lunchtimeinroom.com and becoming a paid subscriber. Ding. You too can do that. And it really is important. And we do appreciate it. We make fun of all the merch and all the swag that you get, but really you get to be one of the main reasons why this happens. And you are with us at the head of the table. And we are so grateful. And so if anyone wants to join them, we will be reading your name each and every week and being grateful to God for you. We don't say smash that like button, hit
can.
comment, like, and subscribe. we don't say it in a cheesy way, because for me that's a pet peeve of mine.
Oh.
Very nice.
Chris, you looked up pet peeve definition, didn't you?
Yeah, but it was very bland. I expected more from it.
Yeah. Basically, Rachel and
pet
I
peeve of
got
Chris's?
into a discussion.
Bad definition.
Yeah.
Because most people, I put it out on Facebook, and if you remember a couple weeks ago, I asked, hey, let's lift somebody up. Who really meets your emotional needs? And we got three responses. And now I asked for pet peeves, and there's over 48 comments.
It's almost like people like to go negative.
Or maybe there's a lot more negative in this world.
There might be.
Could be both. Could
You
be
give people
things can
a
be true at
healthy
once.
outlet
things
for
can be
venting.
true.
Oh, they like the vent.
Yeah.
But with that being the case, Rachel and I discussed, because most people said things that bother them. And Rachel's point was a pet peeve is more something that bothers you to an extraordinary amount compared to everybody else.
Yes.
And then we looked up the definition, and it was like things that bother you. And so we're like, how about that? And I looked it up, 2 different Miriams and somebody
Here's
else's.
the Oxford, just something that a particular person
Do you have to go
finds.
space before you say this?
I would.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Something that a particular person finds especially annoying.
Okay.
So they do throw
Especially.
especially.
Oh, because like we were saying beforehand, like murder.
Yeah.
Well, that's my pet peeve when people
Yeah.
are murdering out there.
Yeah.
Taxes.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Those are pretty much.
it's coming.
Yeah, it
High
has to
on
be more
everybody's
particular
lists.
than that.
Right. And it's okay. But tonight we're doing this not just to talk about negative stuff, which it's always fun to do, but we're going to try to attach what's the emotional need behind that pet peeve. Why does it bother you, them, more than somebody else? And the reason why we're doing that is, number one, it might make it bother you less. If you're aware of, oh, that's why it bothers me, you might be able to have it bother you less.
So we're going to attempt to analyze people's responses.
The peeves.
Yeah.
And maybe if we know the person,
Yeah.
well, it'll help us do that. But the second reason is, if you're not even thinking about that, and then you realize, oh, wait, why is my need for respect so high? Well, why does it bother me so much? It might be able to, and I'm going to put on this thread once we're done here to the people to make sure, hey, go back and listen to what we said so I can really bother people by analyzing them without their permission. So the perfect example I want to start out with, and it's a good example because I certainly know Rachel very well.
Yeah.
Better than she knows herself, with all due respect. That's a bold statement and not inaccurate. Her number one is when people sit on countertops in a kitchen.
Yeah. So this is a good one because like it doesn't bother me. Like it's not a big deal.
I enjoy it.
Before you give your answer, I really want to make a guess.
Not only you sitting on it.
I
You
enjoy
like it when
sitting-
others. You pull up a chair, you're like, or better yet,
And now,
Let's all sit on the counter.
now that I specifically know this, I'm
gonna
going
wear
to get more
short
people.
shorts.
I'm going to get more people to sit on the counter whenever Rachel's around. Hey, let's everybody have a sit. Sorry, Chris.
Can I read the next one on her list also?
Sure.
I'm wondering if they go together because I was trying to make a connection. So sitting on counters and top sheetless sleepers.
Meaning quilt, body,
Yeah.
fitted sheet.
So
Bothers her to no end.
it's both of those. It's got to be sort of like a hygiene cleanliness issue, right? Like, don't put your butt on where we chop food, that sort of thing, and don't.
Well, I get that for the counter. For the sheet thing,
So let me
I think
give
it's because it's her preference to have like a top sheet.
But why would she care that other people don't?
Because it's like, why don't you want one?
So let's go back to her house growing up.
Okay.
No mom, crazy dad, filth, cigar smoke, cats. You know, her room was clean. Nothing else is clean in the entire house.
Especially that top sheet.
So
What top sheet?
she lived in abnormalcy her whole life.
Yeah.
And grime. You know, her dad was
Yeah.
just messy, and she had a brother who wasn't exactly, he was a guy.
Right.
I mean, typical guy in that regard. So in regards to the sitting on the countertop, you know, you couldn't sit on their countertop, and you wouldn't sit on the countertop, and now you're making something that is supposed to be clean, dirty. So growing up, the house was supposed to be clean, but it was dirty. Mm-hmm. And then as far as the top sheet goes, this is what normal people do.
Yeah.
Normal people.
There's something about order with that second one. Like there's
Yes,
an
that's
order.
what-
There's a logical way to do things, and when you're not doing it, it maybe reminds her of her dad, who did things completely illogically and weirdly.
Abnormally.
Yeah,
Right. And so that's why it would bother
Safety,
her that somebody
security.
else does. Wait,
Yeah.
like I was.
That would be a security
Like I
thing.
dreamt. Yeah, it's absolutely security it's absolutely security in the most subtle of ways.
right.
But that's how these things work. Now, there's also logic, she'll tell you, to that.
Fraccione.
Oh,
I
for
believe
sure.
that's how.
Chrissy.
Yeah. Quilts are harder to wash than sheets.
Yeah.
You wash sheets more often than bedspreads.
Yeah, there is a practicality to it for sure.
Right.
I agree.
Totalitarian.
I appreciate a top sheet.
Oh, for
Just
sure.
I just
Well,
want
they're more
Rachel to
normal
know
people.
because I know she listens to this all the time, and I just want her to know.
So she was talking about this with somebody at work, and they were like, "Oh, I never use a top sheet." And like Rachel just lays into her, and she's like, "When you go to a hotel," and the woman's like, "Oh dear God, yes, I use a top sheet in a hotel," because hotels. I mean, you can't be.
You must.
Do the sheet companies know this? Because like your bed sheets come as a pack. Like it's not like you buy just the fitted sheet.
Yeah.
Like it always comes with the top sheet. They could be saving so much money.
What can they do?
Saving so much money.
They could market to the non-top sheet.
Are you saying
users.
people in hotels don't use the top sheets?
No, they do.
Yeah,
like
right,
even
right, right.
top sheetless sleepers
And you must.
don't have the quilt
Yeah.
on top of them.
Okay.
Well, some might. I'm sure Joe does.
Well, those quilts are cleaned all the time.
I've never taken a black light into a hotel room.
I won't.
Oh no,
I don't want to.
I never want to know.
This is blood, semen, or
I haven't died yet from it, so I think I'm fine.
Please be
Please be
blood.
blood.
Or yeah. But the one thing is back to that point and taking us
Urine.
off the rails. And Miss Fraccione, thank you so much for joining us and for contributing all the time. It means the world to us. You're
Yeah.
a high caliber member of the table.
She may be on this list down here that we'll talk
Most
about.
certainly is summarized. But also, the number one dirtiest thing in any hotel room is the
Remote control.
remote control. And every time I get a hotel room, I'm like, I keep meaning to bring bleach wipes, and then I don't.
See, I just lick it. That's my litmus test.
When's the last time you were sick?
Been a minute.
See what I'm saying? Hey, which leads us to number 2, Ben Busby. He said, when guys use the restroom and do not wash their hands, drives him insane. That's his pet peeve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a well, it's especially if you know somebody, like if you're in a bathroom, I don't know, at an event, because the first thing that pops in my head is like stadium. And that's a bunch of people you just don't even know and you're not going to have any contact with. But if you're in like, I don't know, like at a party or something, or at a restaurant, and you're going to have like communal food or whatever, and then So, I don't know. I feel like there's levels to it, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I get that.
Well, when I went to bartending school, this is again back in the 90s, and a lot of restaurants used to have like handfuls of mints or whatever, not wrapped mints, but like bowls of mints.
the chalky mints.
Yeah. And I remember my instructor telling me about, like, they did studies, and the most amount of bathroom matter was found in that mint bowl, meaning
absolutely. The mint
people
bowl.
just would be going to the bathroom or whatever. Now, personally,
Wait, was the bowl of mints in the bathroom?
No, it was always
no, just at the front, like the hostess desk
way
or
out.
something.
Okay.
People-
So
but
Like
now,
the
not-
hosses.
yeah.
Remember that the hoss that you'd tilt it and drop
Yeah,
a few out?
right, stuff like that, or just generally. But now, I mean, now everything's wrapped. But like for me, I don't touch anything. I don't make a mess.
It doesn't bother me as much.
It doesn't bother me as much.
And like because I open if the door doesn't open automatically, I'm using this pinky.
I use my pinky
That's
as
a
much
pet
as
peeve of mine. When you're
when I'm using a
ba-
pinky?
No. When you have a bathroom, make the door go out,
Yes.
because like
Just
if
put your
you're gonna
shoulder
wash
into it.
yes, you're gonna wash your hand. Like
Yeah.
you should wash your
I mean,
hands.
yeah.
I
and
always
then
wash
walk out.
before because I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you're not one of those.
I care
guys.
more about that.
But that's the thing,
What am I
like-
touching?
I
Okay,
know.
my
My
body
move
weight.
is like because usually the wastebasket is close to the door, so I usually keep
Grab
my
it.
keep my paper towel in my hand.
Open the door, throw it
Push
out.
it.
Do
Yeah.
you guys use
Litter,
those
throw it on the ground.
foot poles when they have them
Yeah,
on the doors?
but I find
do.
them sometimes hard to
They're
use
cumbersome
because the
sometimes.
doors can be heavy. But
Yeah.
Now let's get crazy.
All right.
You're a male. You're using a toilet, but of course you're just standing. You're peeing. You're not pooping.
Right.
What?
You do not touch the handle. I don't touch the handle.
You do with your foot.
Yeah, you
With your
do.
foot.
Elbow.
You elbow.
You
Well,
get
I
down
mean,
in
like
there.
at a urinal.
You get down in.
Especially when he's wearing a tie.
I mean, at a urinal. Like,
Oh, the urinal.
No,
yeah,
urinal,
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah,
You have to
yeah.
press your.
oh no,
urinal.
definitely,
saying a
definitely,
toilet.
no, a sit down toilet. Yeah, definitely your foot.
Okay,
Definitely your foot.
okay,
Yeah, yeah,
okay. I thought, you're getting like cheek to the wall to get your elbow
Yeah, no,
down.
that's a foot. That's a foot.
and Christy started talking about duvets, which, as far as I know, aren't duvets the things that go around the bottom of the bed?
Yeah, duvets
Yes.
are around the bottom of the bed, right?
No, they are a cover for your. Like we have a down comforter with a duvet that like wraps the comforter.
Does it hang though?
It does, but it's not like the frilly around the
okay.
around
What's
the
that
bottom.
called?
I have no
doily?
idea.
Toilet.
It might also be called a duvet. I don't know.
So, I mean, obviously,
Yes, that she says. Okay, good.
Yeah. All right.
So I think with Ben's with that one, it's certainly it's security to a degree. It's also respect. I think he said in his answer he follows them around the rest of either the restaurant or the gas station to see where else they went to not touch.
To not touch.
Oh, much there, Ben.
I hate to break it to you.
Michelle,
everywhere.
Michelle Foringer talking with your mouth full.
Yeah,
I could see that one.
that's a good like
That's
pet
manners.
peeve. Manners.
That's respect, I think, or security. Maybe you don't want them like spitting food at you while they're talking.
I think it's more respect.
I think it's respect. Yeah.
See, like one of mine is, and I don't have many.
Depends
I mean,
on who
I
I'm
say
with
that.
too. But I'm not
Ooh.
like I'm also not chomping with my mouth wide open though. Like I just don't do that. But
lip smacking. That's different than talking with your mouth full because you're not talking,
right.
but you're smacking your lips or chewing loudly. I don't think anybody answered that. I don't think. I don't know what that is.
Loud chewers.
Yeah,
feel
loud
like I would-
chewers or lip smackers.
I think it's also respect.
I would have an issue more if it was purposeful. Like if you were like smacking, like.
Sorry, everybody that's listening.
But if it just happens once in a while, like
all the time.
yeah, that's worse.
Oh yeah. But to me, it's almost like a level of acceptance. Like, aren't you embarrassed?
Yeah.
Like, I'm embarrassed
right.
for
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm-
interesting.
I'm more like-
I'm with you. I'm in the group with you, and this is.
But yeah, you don't. Well, it's
Embarrassing.
appreciation because I'm caring more about this than you are. Like you're smacking your lips and you don't care, and I'm embarrassed for you. Don't you appreciate that I'm embarrassed for you? Maybe I'm a little in the weeds there.
But hey, yeah.
I just love the next one.
Go ahead.
Okay, Christina Madden says little kids dancing inappropriately, but like their parents are loving it.
And
or
the adults who think it's great.
yeah. So
I get that one. Yeah.
like just that is a personal pet peeve. Like that is
I get exactly what you're saying.
You're
though.
always at joyful twirlers, and you're like, whoa,
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 quit
whoa,
twerking.
little too hippie there.
Jeez.
Only with the wrist. Only with the wrist.
So, what would that be?
Respect. It's all these are respect.
Little kids dance inappropriate and adults love it.
Yeah,
Where does this happen?
Everywhere.
well,
Do you not have a phone?
I don't really.
She goes, when little kids tweak or twerk or dance inappropriately for obvious reasons, I don't think it's cute or funny. It irritates the crud out of me.
Sure,
And when their
yeah.
adults laugh and encourage it.
If there's a hypothetical world in which this happens, I would agree
Oh,
with
right.
her.
But in your world,
no, I've definitely
Oh,
seen
we've all
this.
seen
Yeah, if
online,
you're watching reels or something,
Now,
and you'll
like-
see parents encouraging their kids to,
in our house, Maggie might like shake her butt, and we'll laugh, and because it's funny, like in the privacy of our own home, because she's being a goofball. But like we do tell her, like we don't do that like outside. It's something for at home.
I did kind of have that thought at the musical, though. Like, you have this production and you have high school kids, 9th through 12th grade, a lot of them under 18. Like, there's some pretty gyrating dancing going on there. And so, I don't know, maybe it's...
and that's in High School Musical.
That's in a High School Musical.
But also, let alone
So is that
a
little kids?
no. I mean, yes, that's bothersome to some
Sure.
degree. But no, she's talking more like, a 7-year-old at a dance
4-year-old,
party.
6-year-old, yeah.
Oh, look, she got the moves and whatever else.
I got it.
Kathy Wolf being told Miss instead of Mrs. when it's known.
That's a good pet peeve. Kathy Wolf,
Man,
that is a
'cause
good pet
Brian
peeve.
just rallies all of a sudden.
Yeah, because that doesn't bother me.
I default at school, we're obviously referring to each other as Mr., Mrs., Ms., whatever. I just default to Ms. all the time, like because there's so many people I have to address that way.
I've heard some people get corrected on that. Like, I'm not a Ms., I'm Miss.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are we doing?
Well, and
here?
there's like doctors too. They'll Mr. No,
Quack.
I'm a doctor.
Oh, sorry. No.
No, I'm a doctor, and I think that goes to respect.
Sure. Oh, that one's an easy respect.
Yeah, that's easy respect.
There was one I left out, and that is Dave Juicywitz, which is my niece Natalie's husband. It's actually Juicewitz, but we call him Juicywitz. He's the one who's the father of Wyatt Carter.
Oh, yeah.
Born on my birthday. Why? W.C. Juicewitz, what you doing? This one I think we can all agree on. When people call hay straw and straw hay, it's two different things. One is for feed and another for bedding or mulching.
This is perfect coming from him.
Another is when people call concrete cement. Cement is an ingredient that makes concrete. There's no such thing as a cement truck. I hear it all the time, misspelled here. Wow. I like the question, and I'm sure I have others. LOL.
Wyatt Carter's dad is educating me because I did not know any of that.
Boy, you don't know nothing
Yeah, I
about
thought-
being on a farm.
I thought like concrete and cement were kind of interchangeable because
I
I've
thought
heard
they were
it both.
just different things.
I've
but
heard
I
it both
didn't-
concrete driveway and cement driveway. You
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, interesting. Well, hey, thanks for teaching me.
Yeah.
And then my cousin Kevin, who is one of the just best, driest, funniest people I know, he commented on that. Fun fact: before structural foam blocks existed, straw bales were sometimes used as void formwork for reinforced cast-in-place concrete.
Wow.
As if we didn't all know that. Christy
Wait, so you
says
have to-
cringy. She doesn't like this.
You have to call them straw bales. They're not hay bales.
Well, it depends on what you're baling.
All right.
Those are the show bales.
But is it the same item, but you're using it for something different?
yes,
Let's have another episode that's all about straw and hay.
No, it
they're
does- not
different.
inherently.
They're different.
They are different.
They're different.
Okay. I'm going to look it up later.
Hey, somebody techie read the next one.
Dylan Porter.
High school classmate of mine.
When engineers think they know AutoCAD or Revit, and then I spend an hour or two cleaning up their drawing or model. I understand the software. They know calculations. Stay in your lane and learn when I teach an easier, faster way of doing AutoCAD or Revit. I only have 30 years experience versus you college boy/girl. Sheesh.
Smiley face.
Honestly, I don't care if it's W10 10 by 12 or a W10
If I
by
had a-
22.
If I had $1.
Just tell me what the calculations say and I'll make it so. My other is, why doesn't CAD do it this way, my way? My response is, call up AutoCAD and ask them, when you give the software what it's asking for, then it works just fine. okay, translation. When someone doesn't know their butt from a hole in the ground and telling you how to do your job.
Yeah,
That sounds like an engineer.
His summary,
Right.
yes, 100%.
Maybe that is
Like,
one-
oh, thank you for miscorrecting me, which is your
Oh,
statement.
yeah,
Yeah,
miscorrection,
absolutely.
which you definitely respect.
Oh, that's
There's also the stay in your lane, though. Like, recognize, there's respect there. Like, recognize my strengths, stay in your lane, do your strengths, because clearly he has to, like, collaborate on these things with other people, but it's not running the smoothest way possible, which definitely sounds like an engineering, you know what I mean? For his brain, that's like, ooh.
well, it's so logical and not feeling like I feel like this should work better if you did it differently. Well, it doesn't.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Welcome to the real world.
Right. And just for poops and giggles, it's I hate to be incorrected. Like none of us like to be corrected.
Thank you for miscorrecting me.
Yes. No, I corrected your incorrections. No, you weren't correcting me though. I corrected your indefinition. And miss.
Be that as it may.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, but still. Agree to disagree. What did Gab say?
Pet peeve is an overly lit room for Gabriella, especially if nobody is in the room. I'm like, are we funding Duquesne Light now? I agree. My wife will absolutely
She turns
second
off lights.
that for me. No, she'll second that. That's a pet peeve of mine. Yeah. Oh, why I have to walk through the house? It's like a trail of light.
Like a dad.
Yes.
My line is always, what does this plastic thing do? And then I turn it on. I'm like, that's weird. It's fun.
I did have that happen the other day. There's like 8 lights in my kitchen, and
All on.
yeah, for hours. And I came home, and it was like, that's all.
Alan Randall. When two cars pull up at a stop sign, one behind the other, and the second car goes through at the same time as the first one. So
Yep.
two cars go through a stop sign.
Rude.
That's not just a pet
We
peeve.
could have a whole
that's illegal.
podcast on
Traffic.
driving pet peeves.
Yep.
Yeah.
Somebody else mentions later zippering, like, merging, and then when somebody
Yes.
doesn't let you in.
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
the other day, I could have played hardball with somebody trying to merge in, put the brakes on, gave him the point, waved them over. Maybe 25-year-old woman, no recognition, nothing.
Yep.
I mean, I'm looking in her side view mirror as much as I could. She learned.
Mine and Amy's current auto pet peeve is and we swear it's happening more and more. Like, you're pulling up toward an intersection and someone coming perpendicular to you is turning left onto your road, and they're cutting like it's
Real close
yeah,
to you.
instead of making it more of a 90-degree turn, they are cutting into your lane in order to make their left
Yeah,
turn.
we could go on driving
Yeah.
for a long time.
I had one the other day, and this isn't a pet peeve, but I'm behind somebody who's going slowly. Like, literally, it might have been my next door neighbor. Like, then they're going exactly where I'm going, all the way down Duff Road, all the way on to Rodi. And then finally, we're coming up to make a left onto 22, which is a very long light. We've got the green light, and they're not going fast enough. And I'm like, we're going to miss the light. We're going to miss the light. We're going to miss the light. So I get over because there's 2 lanes that turn, and it turns yellow. And I've learned, if somebody is going slowly in front of you, God is protecting you from something. Because I've passed them. And the last ticket I got was 40 years ago or something. I was 14 at the time, 15. But 30 years ago. And it was that situation where I got tired of being behind somebody. But I'm like, I'm not missing the light. And so I gun it. And I don't speed because we were going so slow. I'm just accelerating. And I went through the last little bit of a yellow light to red light.
Yeah.
And I thought, now this is how you know you're an adult. I'm like, if I get pulled over, it's fine. I'll tell them, yeah, I was behind somebody too long. You can give me a ticket. It's fine. And then I pulled into Sam's, and there was a police car doing something else. And I'm like, these guys are good. Got ahead of me.
I just realized a new pet peeve of mine. You know what they call that when, like, a yellow light's turning into a red light? You drove through a pink light. Have you heard this?
Should
Yeah.
be orange. But
It
go on.
should be
It should be
orange. That's now
Yes.
my pet peeve.
It should be orange.
Who wants the blessing of doing the next one?
Well, did we
We did not. I'm sorry, Alan's second part was that and run-on sentences without the correct punctuation marks, and the sentence runs on and on forever without stopping. He was being whimsical. I don't think it really bothers him,
Ironic.
if you will.
Mary E. McWhinney.
Mary McWhinney. Good old
Says-
Pollock.
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that. My close friends and family know I have two distinct quote unquote hates.
Ooh.
And
hates.
truthfully, I don't know why they bother me so much. One
She
is
a
when
pirate?
people are One is when people are dancing on commercials. It irritates me to no end because I see no reason to dance because you have an upset stomach, are buying furniture, or a list of other stupid reasons to be dancing. I know it has to do with marketing, but I try not to look at commercials when people were happy taking Pepto-Bismol. Do we want to diagnose that or you want me to go on?
Sure.
She must really, because I'm trying to think like the types of commercials people dance in.
It's pharmaceutical commercials. They're all
Oh,
happy
that's
because they've
fair.
taken this drug.
You're right. They're taking a
Everybody-
certain drug.
Your
everybody-
skin was melting off due to psoriasis, and now you can go dance. Just enjoy the side effects of
Or they're
death.
doing like Sound of Music out in the meadow, like twirling around.
Meanwhile, you hear some side effects maybe.
Yes.
Death, loss of limb, and sterility.
and they're still smiling and dancing.
Yeah, and
Yeah, that's-
okay. So to
that's fair.
piggyback off of her, I think one of mine is talking animals and babies talking, like kids talking. I can't stand them in commercials. They've been used over and over and over again.
Since Look Who's Talking,
Something-
movie,
somewhere around there.
1984.
Did you
Yep.
like that when it came out?
Look who's talking. I did.
Yeah.
It was.
I gotta
okay.
look up. I guess 1984.
They weren't weirdly like mouthing the words though.
I'm going 1980.
For look,
Eight.
for look who's talking.
Yeah.
Or look who's talking again.
Nope, the first one.
Okay.
Because like it's weirder when they have like CGI like
87.
making the
Yes.
kid's mouth, but hearing
Yeah.
just like the thoughts of a kid, like what could be going, that doesn't bother me.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like the rock star reels on Instagram or whatever, where he gives voices to the dogs.
Haven't seen that one.
You're kidding me.
I wouldn't kid about.
It's like
I
one of the
wouldn't kid
most-
about this chick.
It's unbelievable. Like it's so hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody, like I have like 5 billion views. That's why I thought just
You have to
everybody
send me
knew
one.
it.
Yeah.
Gosh. Or the one like with the sea lion that jumps on the boat because there's sharks in the water. Oh, it's so funny. Ah! Guess I know what I'm doing for the rest of the night.
The second one is, and I'm sure you're probably sorry you asked, is when people make up words that don't make any sense. I used to watch the home shopping channels, and one of their words is shacket. They used to describe a shirt that can also be used as a topper for a t-shirt
Yeah.
or a tank top. There is no such word as shacket. It makes my hair stand up in the back of my neck. And I want to slap everybody in sight. Not really, because I would just slap them through the TV. Maybe I used to be a teacher in my other life. It just irritates me.
Wait, what does being a teacher have to do with slapping people?
She may have been slapping kids while she was teaching.
No, it's not rock star. What is it called?
It's it's funny because we've called things. I work for American Eagle, and some of the naming that we use for clothing, we do use shacket because it is somewhere in between a shirt and a jacket.
Or
that
like
that you
jeggings.
can wear as like a light jacket.
Yeah.
Jeggings are just jean leggings. They're
Right.
they're tight and stretchy.
I wonder if that would be a pet peeve of hers.
by
by this
definition,
jeggings,
I guarantee
yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
What does it mean if I absolutely have zero? Like, I read that second half of Mary's, and I'm like, I like that. I like new words and things. Like,
Well, that's a pet peeve of mine when somebody likes new words.
I think it's a pet peeve of hers.
Or like, I wonder what she would say about like Benifer.
Oh, like
Yeah.
a coupling of.
Oh, nobody likes that.
No.
But so what would those be?
Or like
As far-
ginormous.
Or caliper? What
What would you say?
caliper?
It's an inside joke between me and Brian.
Oh, caliper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would those be
Synonyms?
No. What emotional? So
Order,
Yeah. What?
structure, order, meaning security. Like, no, things are supposed to be a certain
Yeah.
way.
but what about
And-
the babies? I guess same
Oh,
deal.
for you, the babies?
No. Oh yeah,
The
she
dancing, you mean
didn't
the
use babies.
dancing?
That's right.
Oh,
dancing.
the kids dancing.
People dance. Just people dancing
People
in general.
Respect. Like, nobody wants to see that. Like, talk to me like a human. Like, don't try to manipulate me.
Oh, yeah.
Gab and Christy, you guys have seen these videos. Let me know, what is the name of that account? It's not Rockstar. It's not World Star.
Rockstar?
Rock World,
No.
World Star.
If I relax my brain, it'll come back.
All right.
Speaking of Christy,
There she is.
she says putting things back where they belong. I assume she means like not put it. Well,
Right.
she didn't type it this
When
way.
somebody
When people don't put items back where they got them, it's a matter
Yeah.
of manners and practicality.
Like in a grocery store. You know what? Like it drives
or
me.
home.
Or at home, for
but,
sure.
Like, I mean, it annoys me when you see like a thing of ice cream in the bread aisle, and it's like, well, that's going to
Yeah.
be ruined, and that's a
Right.
waste.
Why'd you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially when
Thank
you're
you.
in a hurry. Being able to go exactly where an item is when you need it is a time saver.
Well, here,
I was going with respect, but that makes it sound like security.
I'll even give you a tip.
Knowing how things work.
I'll give you a
Security.
tip. You can take it up front with you.
Yeah, they'll return
and
it
just
for you.
give it to them, and they'll return it. Because one of the things when I worked at Giant Eagle, go backs were a thing.
go-backs.
Go backs was heaven.
But
you
now
could
that-
leave the front, the
reverse-
register,
reverse shopping.
You could, you could just go and put things back on the shelf, and it like you didn't have to be up front dealing with customers. I love doing go backs.
But now that you have enlightened everyone at the table that this is what to do, the next time you go in a store and see someone not doing it, it's going to be even worse.
So you pick it up and you take it with you to the front.
Oh
Yeah, won't you do it?
See, you just put yourself into a
Yeah.
situation now, Chris. Are you going to be your own pet peeve? Are you going to be a meme of your own pet peeve?
Like that random cart in the parking lot. Are you going to return that cart
I'll just
and return things to order?
I would be a pet peeve through like negligence.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Guilty by association.
Yeah.
That's an inception. That's a pet peeve inception.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna have to really. My palms are starting to sweat.
I know.
Pressure.
And even when it's like all the way across the store, I do go put it back.
Do you?
I do. Yeah.
That is. Oh no.
I've
Okay.
Yours, not
All right.
somebody else's.
So
though.
what if
Okay.
what if
Yeah, mine. Yeah.
What if like some, I don't know, fish was sitting up in like some other part of the store that was dry, right? Like in,
yeah,
in
right,
the,
right.
you know, in the
pharmaceutical
toilets, whatever.
department.
Do you go put that back?
No, I would take
Because
that
that
up
fish
front.
could be spoiled.
Right.
You could
yeah,
kill somebody.
I would take it up front. Yeah.
And she can correct us, but I think she meant at home.
Well, I love your saying, Jay. You were waiting for somebody else to do that? Let me introduce you to somebody else.
Yeah, you left this for somebody else to pick up.
Yeah.
I want to introduce you. Somebody else.
Yeah.
As he points to himself.
Exactly.
No, that is that's a definitely respect. Like,
And at home, I wish I was better at that. Like it takes
touch
takes
it
2 seconds.
once. Touch
yeah,
it
touch it
once.
once. Yeah. Yep.
I get it.
Betta, good friend of mine these days, when people blow their nose in a restaurant when I'm eating.
I'm guilty of that. Sorry.
It's just one of your things.
Yeah, I mean that's a.
It is rude and disrespectful to the table.
You're a good nose blower.
Oh, I know.
I
am.
respect you for that.
You can't do it at the table. Or you can't do it at the table.
Well, yeah, and when she says in the restaurant, I assume she probably means like at the table with you.
Yeah.
Right. That's
yeah.
the thing.
You do it
Yeah.
in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
like a
You
proper
can't do it
person.
at the table.
Respect.
I mean, I love blowing my nose into a good cloth napkin at the restaurant. No, I have never done. I've never done that.
I was trying to figure out how to respond to that.
I'm not sure who Faith is.
Faith Malazzo.
Still don't
We've
really
talked about
know.
her. She's on the Penn Hills competitive litter committee that picks up litter, and they go up against other communities.
Well, her pet peeve is litter.
there it is.
And she's solving her own problem.
Respect.
Solving her own pet
Respect.
peeve. Yeah.
Very much respect.
She's putting away her own groceries.
And why would that be respect, Jay?
Wow, it's easy. I mean, it's just you're leaving it for somebody else to clean up. There's an order. That's also security because there's an order to how society. If we're just throwing garbage out the window,
Yeah.
where does it end?
Yeah.
So
Wonder if
that
there's
goes to that goes to security. I'm sorry.
No, I wonder if there's a level of belonging in there for some of these too, where you're like, we should be coming together. We should all be part of
A
something.
society, sure,
Yeah.
sure. That's
Yeah.
a good.
We're living in society.
Yeah, we're living in a society. One of the greatest George Costanza bits ever. Anita says, I am with her on this one. I can't
don't
wait to
know,
talk
man.
about this one. Why are all ATMs not the same? why are point of sale at the checkouts not all the same? And there's a guy that did I believe it was a TED Talk that he talked about this of it is really confusing. And why aren't all those checkout systems just universal?
Maybe because we're not communists.
But the thing is, like, you're doing the same kind of transaction. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, but the green button should be on the bottom right. It can maybe make a different design, but essentially like the green enter button should be down on the bottom right.
But to make a rule on that,
what about gas pumps or voting?
Well, those are two complete.
what about gas pumps? What about gas pumps and voting?
What about voting at the gas pump? Vote at the gas pump.
Do you want a receipt? No. Do you want to vote for one or two?
Well, no. All right. If you're going to go ATMs, why not do the same with gas pumps? All the interaction.
Everything
at the gas
has
pump.
to be the same.
Right.
Yeah.
Why do we have some where you can tap the card and?
Yeah.
My thing is like if I would want to create the most efficient way of doing it, and when that is adopted, like I'll equate this to a video game. I normally when you're playing like a first person shooter, you pull your left trigger to aim your weapon, you pull the right trigger to shoot your weapon, you press A to jump. I played a game the other day that you pull the left bumper to jump. And I'm like, why? No other game is doing this.
Yeah.
Why would you do this? Why would you program this
that's
game to
dumb.
do this?
It's particularly worse too. It
is worse because it's a first-person shooter, just like the other games.
Yeah.
You're telling everybody that has all this muscle memory to change that, and it's the same thing with those kinds of interfaces. Like you can make it better or whatever, but generally just keep it the same. And there's sometimes now I feel like they are kind of shifting into a more unified.
I feel like more and more
format.
machines have done. They offer
adopted like
tap to pay
but like it is frustrating.
Proprietary because there are databases that track different things for different companies. I guess we can go with that.
Says
Well,
Christy.
and also, if who's going to mandate this?
I don't want anybody mandating it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Nope. Keep your laws off my ATM machines.
And I will go one step further. I once used a pin pad at a point of sale where the numbers were opposite.
What?
Like it didn't go 9, 8, whatever they're supposed to be.
Well, by your rules, that's fine.
Well, it can be, but I guess what I don't shop anymore because I couldn't do my pin. I was like, my pin is.
Well, and then you have cards that you put in and you leave in, it reads the chip. But then there's ones that you put in and it's like, remove it quickly. And like, and like you're like, did I remove it fast enough for it to start? Nope, you got to put it back in.
All of this is making our brains more agile, and it's keeping us from Alzheimer's.
Or Alzheimer's.
Or all time great.
But here, I can join them in saying it is frustrating.
It is frustrating.
yes, that's
Without
fair.
saying two things can be true at once.
Yeah.
So what emotional need is that?
Oh, it's either security or respect for just about everyone.
Because
Now I don't know.
Or
Which
acceptance. I don't
one
want
is
to do
this?
anything wrong. I don't want to
Sure.
accidentally hit the
standing up for
cancel button, and then I
acceptance.
got to hold people up in line because this stupid machine isn't like
That's
standard.
acceptance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's me when I go to self-checkout and something goes wrong, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And that's respect, actually. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, no. I know my self-checkout.
When
I
your
know my
when your thing
self-checkout.
starts blinking,
Right.
and you're like, oh, son of a.
But there is acceptance. Like, well, what is that? Because you didn't do anything wrong,
But it looks like you did.
but it looks like you
Looks
did.
like you
and now
don't
you're-
know what you're doing.
Now you're that guy with the blinking light,
Yeah.
and then it takes
But
forever for
you,
the
it's
person to come
acceptance.
over.
For me,
Okay.
it's respect.
Got it.
Because don't say I don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing.
Right.
This is the best example we've had all night.
I know.
I mean, of like emotional needs, like one,
Yeah.
it's respect for him. Two, it's acceptance for me.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty close. I think it's 5166 is Vidalia Onions. I know that.
Nice.
I don't even scan.
I'm
I
with you.
type it in.
I'm with you.
Also, because a Giant Eagle, which is a different voice than other point of sale things.
Oh, yeah.
And it's way
It's
too
so
loud.
Except she says, "Move your sweet onions." I buy onions sometimes. Don't even need them.
I just want to hear it
And
talk
back
to
in
me.
the day at the Road I Rode Giant Eagle, there was a sassy man named Glenn who worked there.
Oh, I remember Glenn.
Glenn was great.
I remember Glenn.
Glenn and I were buds. And one day I said, hey, Glenn, I said, what's up with the new self-checkout? I said, it's pretty slow. I said, she's working pretty slow. And he goes,
She doesn't even want to be here.
That's a great line.
That is a great
I
line.
miss Glenn.
Oh, that's so good.
Do we know what happened to Glenn? I forgot about that guy.
He got married.
Oh.
Got married. He got in trouble because he chased the shoplifter out of the store, and you're not supposed to do that. That was before, like, that's when some people still could stop stealing. But he got reprimanded for that. And
All right. Beverly.
Yeah, she already kind of touched on some things that we
Yeah,
already
that was the
talked
one I
about.
talked about, the
right.
zippering in. Tamara Bergamasco, lying. Sure.
Of all kinds.
Of all kinds.
That sounds biblical.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, to me, that rises above pet peeve. That is like, yeah,
That's one of my-
nobody likes lying.
That's
It's
kind
one of
of
my
a
favorite Ron Swanson
societal-
quotes where he talks about, he's like, I hate lying. If there's only one thing more that I hate than lying, it's skim milk, which is water lying about being milk.
Man, that's good writing right there.
Evie said, "Oh, here's okay. Chewing with your mouth open.
These last two are about mouths
We had
and, and lying.
Yeah, and lying.
and lying. Yeah,
Anita Choma, people that talk out of both sides of their mouth, which meaning,
lying.
Was
Lying,
Anita
gossiping.
ATM?
Ventriloquists.
yeah, right.
No, that's just one.
Was Anita ATM too? Did she do too? Is that the same Anita?
That's a very good point. Let me check.
I was just curious.
Inquiring minds.
Because I was gonna, when I see her at church, I'm gonna give her a big hug and say, I agree with you in the point of sale units and whatnot.
I too am a communist.
That was pretty funny. Dan Leopold made one about for his normal 4-paragraph answers.
Yeah.
It was during the national championship game, and he said, when a sports announcer uses the word physicality for the 4th time in a 6-minute span.
Well, yeah. That's a pet peeve of mine of like sports people not really saying anything. They're just saying a lot without
Filler.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah, Anita came in twice. I should point out that Hunter did respond. And his answer to what is your pet peeve, his answer was, how much time you got? Which he's a great pet peeve guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
He does not care for a lot of things.
We've shared some pet peeves as we've talked while he's been
Oh,
here.
yeah.
It's great.
Don't have to guess. He'll tell you. So I think the key is to make sure you understand, once again, what is the emotional need being attacked or not met, so that you are not manipulated by your feelings, which is your feeling is I'm bothered. Well, why are you bothered? Well, because there's an emotional need not being met or taken from you. And so if you can identify that, it might just take a little of the edge off the emotional need, and it might help you see just a little bit more about what's going on inside of you so that you can understand you, which gives you at least a chance at explaining that to somebody else. But Christy and Gab, thank you for joining us live.
Yeah,
You
that was
guys
fun.
Are
Yes.
rock stars.
Really
That's
fun.
still not the name of the website. I can't believe you guys don't know it. But we are so grateful that you shared this time with us.
Yeah.
And that's how we're going to wrap up episode 280. Join us next week for episode 281 live on Wednesday evening around 8:30 on YouTube if you would like. And between now and then, please give us a like or follow on social media. Visit us at lunchtimeinrome.com. And while there, take our relational needs questionnaire. Thanks for joining us at the table for Lunchtime in Rome.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.